I was cold. I was thirsty. I was lost. I was hurt. How I came to be in this fatal state doesn't matter. Suffice it to say, I experienced a severe lack of judgment. Looking back, I can point to a few compounding mistakes stemming from carelessness to complacency that led me to the brink of death. The woods are deceptively transparent during the winter months in the north. Standing on the edge of the forest, it seems you can see miles deep into the trees and brush. However, you don't have to venture too far before the endless sea of trees and snow causes your head to spin. The clouds hide the sun, your only waypoint if you aren't properly prepared, and the wind and animals eventually erase your prints where the snow is deep enough to leave any. I slipped while scaling a steep bank. The runoff must have frozen beneath the powdery layer of snow beneath my feet. I knew something was terribly wrong with my foot before I even came to a rest at the base of the incline. I knew even before I saw the pointed branch protruding from the top of my boot. It was dyed red. I'm not sure how long I laid at the base of that hill. The shock caused me to lose track of time. I guess I was hoping someone would find me. When the evening began to swallow the little light the overcast skies allowed to reach the forest, I began to panic. I became anxiously aware of every noise around me. I thought I would have a heart attack when I heard the unmistakable sound of leaves being crushed underfoot. The hope of rescue had long since left my mind, and I assumed if I was found by another living creature, it would mean my end. I was joyfully surprised when a beautiful young woman appeared from behind a tree. It had been her bare feet that broke the leaves and sticks which caused me so much fear. Her feet were not all that was bare. In fact, the only covering she had was a delicate cloth hanging between her thighs. Curtains of dark hair flowed over her shoulders and hid most of her chest, but, I guiltily noted, not all. Even in my wounded, panicked state, I found myself uncontrollably aroused by her appearance. No part of me questioned her nakedness in the harsh cold. No part of me wondered why she too was out in the forest alone. "O weary sinner, dost thou injury cause thee pain?" The way she spoke caught me off guard. I had read such words in old books, heard them recited in the theater, but never had I heard someone use the style firsthand. I overcame my surprise to answer her. "I think my foot's hurt pretty bad, yeah. Can you call for help?" The warmth in her smile made my head spin. All my remaining fear evaporated as she stepped towards me. "Fear not. I am your remedy." She took hold of my boot. It took my brain a moment to realize she was pulling the branch out of my foot. I felt none of the pain one might expect from something like that. There was no more blood. When she was near, I no longer felt the chill of the elements. I felt safe. I could not help but notice her hair shift as she stood, revealing what had been hidden from me when she approached. My eyes met hers, and I knew she had noticed my wandering gaze. She gave me that welcoming smile again. "I see your desire, weary sinner. I have healed your wound, and yet you crave more from me. This is the fault of man. This is the nature of sin. Leave from this wood. Look not upon me again, or be lost to the desires of your flesh." I didn't fully grasp her meaning at the time, but I stood. I was surprised and overjoyed when I placed my weight on the formerly injured foot. The only evidence of my fall was a hole in the top of my boot. Everything in me wanted to stay with the woman, but I understood enough of her message to know she wanted me to go. After thanking her, I turned away back toward the direction I was pretty sure I had come from. I only took a few unwilling steps before the temptation to look back overcame me. When I turned my head, I saw she was still there. She was no longer standing, but rather laying on her back in the snow. She was propping herself up on her elbows and watching me between her legs. The cloth was only barely hiding the only part of her I had yet to see. "O sinner, I see your earthly nature is beyond your control. Come, indulge thyself and learn the true nature of sin." I took one step towards the woman. She lifted her feet, inviting me. The cloth still hid what waited between them. Tendrils of passion spread from my heart. I became nothing but a vessel of unearthly lust. I was almost close enough to lift the cloth when the cracking of bones stopped me cold. Her feet were now bent at inhuman angles. I cried out and fell backwards as I watched her toes grow into long, clawed fingers. I heard more cracking as her neck elongated. Her once beautiful face hardened and cracked. Her eyelids became scales. She pushed herself up with her fists, which had morphed into hooves. Something moved beneath the thin cloth. A long snout emerged, first bearing teeth like an alligator's as it slithered out from under. Before I could scream, the rest of the head was revealed as the cloth finally fell away. It resembled a horse's head, in shape, but it was scaled like the tail her neck had become. 2 reptilian eyes stared out from the sides with fiery hatred. The beast repeated the words, "Learn the true nature of sin." I couldn't see more than 2 trees ahead of myself in the darkness, but I ran anyway. I couldn't force myself to look back. If the beast pursued me, I didn't want to know. I ran until I thought my heart would burst. Just before my legs gave out from under me, I noticed the artificial glows of flashlights between the trees ahead. I heard my name being called by familiar voices. The search party had found me. I haven't returned to those woods. The wound on my foot remained healed, but another injury became evident over time. My physical passions have been forever replaced with fear. Things that once aroused me now induce panic attacks. This debilitating scar from my experience has managed to keep me alone in life. This is the true nature of sin.